Have you ever felt like you're running on empty even when you slept well? Like you wake up exhausted, go through your day in autopilot, and by evening your emotions feel flat, heavy, gone? If that sounds familiar, you're not just tired, you might be emotionally drained. Today we're going to unpack what's really happening inside your mind and body when you feel this way, and why it's not just bad luck or a weak mind. Imagine your emotional energy like a battery. Physical energy powers your body. Emotional energy powers your sense of being present, connected, alive. When your emotional battery is full, you feel motivated, engaged, stable. When it's low, you feel worn out, numb, overwhelmed, or constantly on edge. Many people live like this, and they don't know why. But psychology actually has powerful insights into what's going on. Let's start with something crucial. Being emotionally drained isn't just feeling tired. Normal tiredness goes away with rest, sleep, vacation, a weekend off. Emotional exhaustion sticks around no matter how much rest you try to get. It eats into your joy, your focus, your relationships. So what exactly is draining you? At the core, psychological research points to one big pattern: a chronic imbalance between emotional output and emotional input. Think of your emotional life like a bank account. Every social interaction, thought, worry, responsibility, that's money going out. Support from others, positive activities, meaningful rest, that's money coming in. When more is going out than coming in for a long time, your emotional balance goes into the red. So what causes this imbalance? One major reason is constant stress without recovery. When your brain perceives stress, whether it's a real threat or emotional conflict, work pressure, family obligations, it triggers a survival mode. Your nervous system releases stress hormones like cortisol. In short bursts, this is helpful. But when stress is constant, your system stays switched on. And that's exhausting. Your emotional battery drains faster than you can recharge it. Another reason is unprocessed emotions. Humans are built to feel emotions and also to resolve them, talk about them, express them, work through them. But if you bottle them up, suppress them, or distract yourself from them, those emotions don't disappear. They linger in your mind like unfinished business. The result? A low-grade emotional fatigue that never goes away. And then there's emotional labor, the invisible work of managing emotions. People who constantly care for others, act cheerful when they're not, suppress their true feelings to avoid conflict, they expend tremendous emotional effort. This is common in parents, caregivers, people pleasers, and professionals in service roles. The emotional energy they give every day is real, deep, and rarely replenished. Here's something really interesting: when you're emotionally drained, your brain actually looks like it's under physical fatigue. Studies show that emotional exhaustion affects the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for decision-making, self-control, creative thinking. When this area is weakened, your concentration drops, your memory gets foggy, and your patience disappears. That's why emotionally drained people often feel slow, forgetful, or unmotivated, even for activities they used to enjoy. This leads to a common misunderstanding: people think I must be lazy or weak. But in reality, your brain is overloaded. You've been dealing with internal stressors as if they were as demanding as running a marathon every day, without rest. Another psychological factor behind chronic emotional fatigue is what researchers call affective empathy overload. Some people are extremely sensitive to others' emotions. They absorb emotional signals around them like sponges. While empathy is a wonderful trait, high sensitivity can drain emotional energy quickly because your emotional system constantly works overtime interpreting, responding to, and managing not just your feelings, but everyone else's. You walk into a room and feel the tension, sadness, joy, chaos, and your nervous system reacts as if those emotions belong to you. You may also be emotionally drained if you're stuck in perfectionism or fear of judgment. When you're constantly evaluating your performance, your behavior, your relationships, always worrying about approval, your emotional system stays tense. Every social situation becomes a test. Every mistake feels catastrophic. This constant internal pressure chips away at your emotional reserves. Now, feeling emotionally drained doesn't always mean something is wrong with you. In fact, it often means your mind works fine, it's just overwhelmed. Your emotional intelligence might be high, your sense of responsibility strong, your empathy deep, but your environment or your coping strategies aren't giving you the support you need to keep up. So how do you know when emotional exhaustion is happening? Here are some telltale signs. You wake up tired even after long sleep. You feel numb or disconnected from people you care about. Small problems feel huge or impossible. You have trouble concentrating or making decisions. You feel irritable, impatient, or emotionally flat. Even activities you once loved feel like chores. If you recognize these patterns in yourself, that's not a failure, that's information. Your psyche is sending you a signal that your emotional budget is out of balance. Now let's talk about what psychology says actually helps, not just quick fixes, but real recharging. First, you need emotional validation, acknowledging how you feel without judgment. People often push feelings aside. I shouldn't feel this. I need to be strong. It's not a big deal. But these thoughts keep your emotions bottled up. Naming your feelings honestly, even just to yourself, starts the healing process. Second, you need emotional boundaries. This means learning to say no without guilt. Emotional drain often comes from giving too much to others, to expectations, to stress. Boundaries help you stop the emotional leakage. Third, you need recovery activities that truly recharge you. Not just distraction or avoidance, but activities that restore your emotional balance, meaningful social connection, creative expression, movement you enjoy, quiet reflection, nature, sleep routines that feel restorative. Fourth, you need support. Emotional fatigue is not something you have to fix alone. Talking with trusted friends, family, or a therapist can help you process emotions, shift patterns, and build resilience. And finally, you need to understand this: your emotional battery can be recharged, but it takes consistency and a willingness to treat emotional energy as something real, essential, and worth caring for. To close, feeling emotionally drained is not a character flaw. It's a psychological state rooted in real nervous system changes. It's a sign you've been handling more input than your system can process without replenishment. It's a signal, not a sentence. When you start recognizing the patterns, naming the emotions, setting boundaries, and creating space for real recovery, you begin to rebuild your emotional reserves. And slowly, life starts to feel less like trudging through mud and more like walking with direction and meaning again. If this resonates with you, pause this video and take one moment to reflect. What is draining you most right now? And what is one small thing you could do today to start refilling your emotional battery? Thank you for watching. If you found this helpful, like, subscribe, and share with someone who might need it. Your emotional life matters. I'll see you in the next video.